Biden administration has been reversing the vast majority of the Trump administration's successful border enforcement policies. They're dismantling immigration enforcement. They are encouraging illegal immigration, encouraging it.
It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of.
President Trump, the border was secure. Under President Biden, there is no border. And Americans are paying the price.
We have to take over. We have to be tough. We have to be smart. We have to be fair. But if we don't do something immediately, our country is gone.
America, while the Biden administration spent 4 years letting cartels run wild across our southern border, President Trump isn't wasting no time taking the fight directly to these criminal organizations. He offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to help crush the cartels once and for all. But Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum's response, a flat-out rejection that puts cartel profits ahead of safety of both Mexican and American citizens.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says she has declined President Trump's offer to send U.S. troops to Mexico to help crack down on the fentanyl crisis.
Madeline Rivera is live in Washington with the details. Maddie?
Good morning, guys. The president has described productive conversations with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, but it appears Sheinbaum is drawing a line on the cooperation between the U.S. and Mexico.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is a perfect example of why we need to take matters into our own hands when it comes to border security. President Trump offered Mexico a helping hand to deal with these violent cartels, and they slapped it away in the name of sovereignty. Meanwhile, these same cartels are violating American sovereignty every single day by flooding our streets with deadly fentanyl. Let me break this down for you. During a recent phone conversation with Mexican President Sheinbaum, President Donald Trump offered to send U.S. troops to help Mexico fight the cartels that have essentially taken over large parts of their country. It was a generous offer that would have benefited both nations.
Last month, during a phone conversation with Sheinbaum, President Trump suggested U.S. armed forces take a role in battling Mexican drug gangs. Here's Sheinbaum's response.
He said, "How can we help you fight drug trafficking? I propose that the United States Army enter to help you." And you know what I told him? No, President Trump. The territory is inviolable. Sovereignty is inviolable. Sovereignty is not for sale.
Sheinbaum's response is telling. She claims Mexican sovereignty is not for sale. But where was this concern for sovereignty when Mexican cartels took over entire Mexican states? These aren't just criminal organizations. They're paramilitary groups that control territory, collect taxes, and operate in impunity. Meanwhile, the Trump administration isn't waiting around. Just this week, federal officers in Atlanta seized high-powered weapons, drugs, and contraband that cartels were smuggling from the United States back into Mexico.
The war on Mexican cartels is being waged right here in Georgia. Federal officials based in Atlanta recently seized high-powered weapons, drugs, and other contrabands they say the cartel was smuggling from the U.S. into Mexico. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live in Northeast Atlanta with more. Deidre.
Yeah, we were told this afternoon, Eric, that the guns and drugs, the other criminal activity is being used, that those drugs and all of that's being smuggled from the United States into Mexico to support the cartel's criminal activity.
This isn't just happening in border states either. In Georgia, law enforcement arrested 14 people connected to these cartels, including 9 that were in the country illegally. They seized over 200 firearms worth more than $250,000, along with significant quantities of methamphetamine and fentanyl.
This cache of high-powered weapons and ammunition on display confiscated by federal agents. Evidence, law enforcement officials say, of the Mexican cartel's presence in Georgia.
Cartels have infiltrated the United States and through the southern border are operating in all major states and cities.
This is some of the contraband that was intercepted before it could be smuggled across the border into Mexico.
And it's not just in Georgia, it's in Columbus, Ohio as well. This is far from the southern border. The ATF recently seized guns that were supposed to go to the cartels in Mexico. This is a nationwide problem that requires a nationwide solution.
The Columbus division of the ATF recently seized a number of guns that were allegedly supposed to be trafficked by criminals to Mexico.
They held a news conference today. NBC4's Delaney Ruth was there, and she joins us live now with what we learned. Delaney?
Hey, Jennifer, Jared. Well, the ATF says they may not realize it, but crimes involving major Mexican cartels happen right here in central Ohio.
The Biden administration's approach to this crisis was a complete failure. They allowed millions and millions of illegal immigrants to pour across the border, including gang members and criminals. Now the Trump administration is cleaning up all the mess. But Mexico's refusal to accept the help is making the job a lot harder.
Special agents with the ATF's Atlanta Field Division and Homeland Security Investigations say the collaboration between ATF and HSI is crucial in disrupting firearms trafficking and other cartel activities.
We've made tremendous strides securing the southwest border. The cartels are feeling the pinch of the interagency operations that are impacting their day-to-day.
So what's the bottom line here? President Donald Trump is taking a multi-pronged approach to the cartel problem. He offered to help Mexico directly, which they rejected. He essentially designated cartels as a foreign terrorist organization, and he's empowered federal agencies to crack down on cartel operations within our borders.
14 people have been arrested as part of an ongoing investigation into the criminal enterprise, including 9 individuals who officials say were in this country illegally.
They were attempting or utilizing to secure firearms and ultimately try to push them down to the southwest border and into Mexico.
Meanwhile, the Treasury Department just announced sanctions against 6 individuals and 7 groups supporting the Sinaloa Cartel, working in coordination with the Mexican government. At least on this front, there seems to be some cooperation.
White House, let's bring in Megan Casella. Megan, what's happening?
Hey, Kelly, so just in the past few minutes, the Treasury Department announcing that they're implementing sanctions against 6 individuals and 7 groups that they say have been supporting the Sinaloa Cartel in Mexico. They say this was a coordinated action with the government of Mexico. The sanctions are a result of that, and they say the Sinaloa Cartel is responsible for a significant portion of fentanyl in particular and other drugs crossing the southern border into the U.S.
America, this is what real leadership looks like. President Trump isn't afraid to take bold action to protect American citizens, even if it means offering to send our troops into Mexico. And while the Mexican president may have rejected that offer, the Trump administration will continue to use every single tool to its disposal to crush these cartels and secure our borders.
Today, I'm proud to announce that we've taken decisive action against the Sinaloa Cartel, one of the most notoriously violent criminal and drug trafficking organizations in the world. Our administration is committed to cutting off their funding and neutralizing the threat through all available tools. We leveled sanctions against 6 individuals and 7 entities involved in a money laundering operation, cutting off financing for these evil people.
I'll keep you updated on this story as it develops. And remember, when it comes to border security, President Trump is willing to do whatever it takes to keep Americans safe, even if Mexico isn't willing to help. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.